I am ecstatic to be talking with Nan Duffly today. Nan is the first Asian American who served on the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. It's the state's highest court. Nan has an incredibly interesting background. She was born in Indonesia and immigrated to the US with her family when she was 6. She later, fast forward, graduated from the University of Connecticut and Harvard Law School. She's a ton of judge experience, includes probate and family court, associate justice work on the appellate court for the past, for how many decades? I don't know how long you did that, Nan. Before she was a judge, Nan was a partner at Boston's Warner and Stackpole, and there she specialized in domestic relations cases. Nan, thank you so much for being here. I'm very grateful to you.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
How do you identify? You can share your mom and dad's quick, where they come from, but how do you
hmm
identify and how does that shape this path that you've gone on, this career path?
Hmm. Well, I think originally when I was younger, I always thought of myself as part Indonesian and Dutch, but learned as I grew older that my mom was actually Chinese, and her great grandfather had immigrated from China to Indonesia, where he married.
You moved to the US when you were 6, and I'm
Yeah.
curious, as you went on to Connecticut and Harvard, what was the impetus for law? Was that the path that you had set forth as a child? Where
Oh
did that
no,
come into
I
play?
I wasn't ever even thinking of that. No, I really was very interested in literature, and I had a mentor who kind of, my mother was too, fostered that idea. I was going to get a PhD in English literature and probably and hope to be a professor. That was really my goal until the war and the Vietnam War and all the protests, and I participated in a lot of that, and I learned somewhere along that way from various. I read about Leonard Bodine and a bunch of other lawyers, and I thought, wow, I didn't have any lawyers in my family. I didn't know a lawyer, but I thought I had no idea that being a lawyer was such a powerful tool, having a law degree, and it was just amazing to me um, that you could have a law degree and do so much with it. So my initial impulse was to work. I worked for legal services as a non non lawyer, as like a paralegal, just to learn more about it. So I originally thought I was going to work for legal services, and then as time went on, and I had more work experiences, that just changed. I ended up at a large law firm in the litigation department, mostly for the experience and to pay off my law school debt. And I met my mentor there, wonderful man, Sam Adams, yes, from that Adams family, who had a wonderful, strong wife and a lot of daughters, and who had gone to the firm to run the firm from the bench, from the superior court, so that he could educate his girls. And I met them. He wanted me to talk to them and about what being a professional woman was like, so they have that point of view. And ultimately, I really, I was a lawyer for a while, but he encouraged me to think about being a judge. And it was really my mentor's example of what a judge could do, how much you could do and accomplish for other people. That led me down that path.
So, Dan, I'm imagining how you wanted to go to law school, make an impact, then met Sam Adams, and he encourages you to be a judge. What about that choice called to you?
That there were so many more people I could help
Hmm.
rather than just individual clients one on one, either through pro bono services or if they could afford it. They were just there, especially when I started in the probate and family court, which was also an equity court. There were just so many people who had to go to court for whatever reason, and many of them were not represented. So it just seemed like a greater opportunity to do that.
Nan, if Sam Adams hadn't said you should consider being a judge, you can do so much in the world, do you think that you would have gone on to be a judge?
No, not unless somebody else had encouraged me. It never
Hmm.
occurred to me that I could be a judge.
Why hadn't it occurred to you, Nan?
Well, there weren't very many women on the
Hmm.
bench at that point, for one.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think there were any women of color at all, but certainly not a lot of women.
So walk me here. You get this amazing opportunity to be the first Asian American on this most powerful Supreme Court in Massachusetts. And you walk in, I imagine there's not that many women of color. So how are you with this dynamic? Explain who was on the bench with you in terms of like
Oh,
race
by
and
then
yeah, what
I
was
had
that?
been, yeah, that's a very good question, but except that I must have skipped too much because, I'd been on the appeals court and then I was very active as a lawyer. I did pro bono work. I did a lot of lawyers committee for civil rights where I did, I was out in the community. I didn't just want to be earning money, which was great. It was wonderful. Needed to pay my tuition bills, but also I saw it as an incredibly powerful tool, having this law degree, that there was so much opportunity for doing things with it, good things, meaningful things, that I was just searching for what the opportunities were open to me. I hadn't really, being a judge, I mean, I knew no judges until, I met my mentor, but I didn't know any judges. I didn't think I could be one, but he really encouraged me. And I think I always remember that now. Uh, Women, particularly people of color, also, they need encouragement if they haven't had that in their, in their experience with others and their families. I mean, at least in those days. I think things have changed, but that was really it. It seemed like an amazing tool that you could do so much with, so much good. So I just hoped that I could have that opportunity, and it worked out for me that I was appointed.
Nan, you're so humble. I mean, you have done so much, and I know you care a lot about having diversity. Can you talk about why this matters? We're both women of color, we both care, but just talk about from your view, especially in that seat, right? Why does it matter to have diverse perspectives?
It matters to the people who appear in front of you. It matters. It particularly in the courts where I worked, where a lot of people were pro se. That meant they were not represented by lawyers because they couldn't afford it. And so they would try to show up by themselves, and for them, I think to see someone who they they could see themselves reflected in me, either because I was a woman or I was a person of color, certainly not a white male. I thought that was really important. I think if you're a lawyer, you don't maybe often realize how frightening an experience it is, particularly for uneducated, maybe women who are not professional women, even if they're educated, they just haven't had that experience. It's a scary place. And if you don't see anybody who looks like you, how do you believe that they can understand you? So, I was at the beginning of that. And fortunately for the governors who were there at the time and came after that, there was a lot of momentum after that. And we're certainly very diversified now, but that wasn't true then.
Nan, I want to go back to this. I mean, it was so very fortunate that you met Sam Adams, that you
Yeah.
were able to have mentors who truly were about supporting
Yep.
you and having diversity in the workforce in these pretty high tier, very important and powerful roles.
Mm.
And I'm curious, from that vantage of having benefited and been blessed with these mentors, I'm curious about your view if you're a woman of color, a diverse leader, and you don't have that kind of support. Would you say keep going or go look elsewhere? Or I mean, because you've been, I love how blessed you were and are. And I'm curious for people who aren't as blessed, what would you recommend for them?
And if women haven't considered that as an option for whatever reason, and I know for me, it was a big step to even see myself in that role. I always use my position in my past. If I see somebody who might make a great judge, I tell them, "Have you thought of this? This would be a great job for you. I think you would be great at this." But it's different. I think there's much more opportunity. And sometimes not so much anymore, I think. But over time it has changed. Women tend to hold back a little. Can I really do that? And it really just takes somebody like me saying, "Of course you can. You absolutely can. I did it. You can do it."
Great. Nan, I love that. And I'm so happy that you grew up with a father and a family who supported you and loved you, as
Yeah.
well as mentors who supported you. It's a wonderful story, especially that now you're giving back to others. Maybe people haven't been as blessed with
Yeah.
mentorship and with love. And so to help
Right.
feed that means a lot. Nan, with that, let's go for our lightning round questions. Ready?
Uh-oh. All right. Shoot.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Cooking or takeout?
Cooking.
Climb a mountain or jump from a plane?
Oh God, never jump from a plane. I'm afraid of heights. Climb a mountain. I've done that.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Never. I'm a California girl. It's either barefoot, but never sandal, no socks with sandals.
How would you rate your karaoke skills on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Mariah Carey?
One or zero.
What's a good book you've read or a recent book you've read?
So I read books several at a time, and these are the ones that I'm reading now. I'm reading By Hands Now Known, Jim Crow's Legal Executioners. This was written by a colleague of mine when I was teaching at Northeastern, Margaret Burnham. It's fascinating. This one, The Fraud, is a novel by Zadie Smith. She's amazing. This one by Zen Jugadar is The 30 Names of Night, also terrific. And this one, I read a lot of this kind of stuff, mysteries. Just, quick reads, a lot of fun. Lee Child is great, and this happens to be Jack Reacher.
Hmm, that's a good one. So good. Thank you, Nan. What is a good professional development you've done?
Well, I always go to attend the National Association of Women Judges, not only because I think that's a wonderful organization and I know so many people in it, but because they have such great programs. So I always, they tried, cutting edge areas of the law that you might not have opportunities to learn about, it just kind of great opportunities that and at the American Bar Association, same. I'm a member there too. They also have great conferences, great educational programs. So that's probably the primary source of my outside education opportunity.
Great. And what's your definition of a boss mama?
Someone who doesn't give a shit what anybody else thinks. Can I say that?
Nan, what advice would you give your younger self?
Hmm. I realized when you asked me that, I grew up so confident because of my parents. I they just gave me this sense that, like I told you, my father said, you could have been president of this country if you'd been born here. I mean, they really believed that. So, what advice would I give myself? I don't really know. I suppose it would sound good if I said, don't work so hard, play more, but I don't think I mean it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think I do play more now.
And then where can we find you? LinkedIn, anywhere else, Nan?
Ooh, I hope not. I try not
Okay,
to. But I think I am on LinkedIn. I think I am actually.
okay. And then last question, Nan, do you have a final ask, recommendation, or any parting thoughts to share?
I don't know if it's still true, this advice. Um, Certainly was true for me, but believe in yourself. Don't don't place limits on what you think you can reach for. I mean, you know, if somebody like I had a father who said, if you'd been born here, you could have been president. You need to believe those things about yourself, and and tell yourself you really can be anything you really want to be. You might have to work really hard for it. You might have to learn some new things. You might have to try it out. Maybe you'll learn you don't love it actually as much as you thought you would. But yeah, believe in yourself.
Beautiful. Nan, thank you for the inspiration and your stories. I so appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.